We have a 98 Chrysler Cirrus 2.5 engine. This crankshaft sensor is bad. Just to give you a little insight, the vehicle was died a few times, and they let it sit and it would start. Those symptoms are pretty common, but it's hard to pinpoint when it's intermittent. So they towed this vehicle in, and naturally it started when it got here. I went through fuel pressure tests, basic scan tests. I couldn't find anything, and then one day I did another scan test after the vehicle had been running fine, and I came up with the crankshaft sensor code. So it was nice to finally get some helpful information. So anyway, I'm doing the crankshaft sensor. I've already got this one in, and it's pretty tough to get to, like everything, but I don't have a cameraman here to do this, so I'm just going to tell you how I did it. Now the repair data says to remove this cruise control servo, which basically bolts right here on this strut tower to get it out of the way. But with my big hands and big arms, I had to actually unbolt this master cylinder. I left the lines all on there. Didn't have to break any brake lines or anything, but just unbolted it and then pulled it up out of the way and hung it up with a rubber strap. Then that gave me enough room to get down in there with my arms, and I don't know if I can even show it to you because I can't see it. I'll try to get the camera in there. Okay, right down there on the bell housing underneath these lines, you can see the new one. It's got a little paper stuck to the bolt because I had to use that to hold the bolt in the socket. But that's the sensor that goes right in on the bell housing there. It's got one 10mm bolt and a wire that comes up here. So anyway, as you can see, it's pretty tight, and when you're working up here in this area, you really can't see and stick your arms in there and do everything at the same time. So you kind of have to use, well, I guess you could call it the force or whatever, but you have to kind of feel for it. But you can kind of get down there and see where the bolt is, and I used one of these sockets, short socket and a 6-inch extension. The short socket helps you kind of clear the transmission shift cable, because I tried a deep one on there and it kind of bound the socket up. But anyway, if you get that in there, you can get right on that bolt, and then the extension comes out here, right here in this area, and I basically stuck my air ratchet on there and got it out of there. But I also finished it off with the hand ratchet, which you can barely get in there, but you can work it. When you get it loose enough, you can get it out by hand. Once you get the bolt out of there, that sensor is not really tight. I was surprised. I thought it was going to be hard to get out, but I got a long screwdriver, a very long screwdriver, and just kind of popped it, and it fell right out. So it's not really that hard to get out of there. Getting it in, however, is a little tougher because you're working blind. You kind of have to see the hole and just drop it in there, but it's not that bad. And then when I put the bolt back in, I just used a little paper to keep the bolt tight. You know, the old paper trick to keep the bolt in the socket while you're down here trying to get it back in the hole lined up. Then you can just put everything back together. I thought I had the old sensor here. Here it is. This is what the sensor looks like. It's got a short pigtail on it and one bolt, and it basically kind of sits in there like this. So that's all there is to it. A little patience and I think you can get it done. But I hope that helps. Thanks.